last year I wanted a little bit more of an experience on the prosecution side. So I thought the team was a good opportunity, and Professor Tarosky presented that opportunity, and I jumped on it. And I think I learned quite a bit. I think honestly, I learned probably more from that class than I did from a few other courses. And it was surprising how much I did learn from drafting an application from start to finish, and then arguing and defending it. And then also just the professional piece, working with people that maybe you didn't know prior, learning how to make sure that your work styles and lives are compatible, and also working under the pressure and deadlines and those type of things are pretty helpful to learn for a lot of reasons. So there's kind of two parts to the class. Like, one is you have to get your assignments into Professor Tarosky and, learn the material, and then kind of submit your assignment to the PTO, and then go and argue and, kind of get those boxes checked and take whatever the grade that you get in the class. That's one piece to it. But the other piece that I think maybe us three didn't really understand fully in the very beginning was, there is a huge element of pride involved. You are going to a competition with a lot of other law schools there that have prepared a lot of time, and you want to, one, represent yourself well, and then two, represent the law school well. So what I will say is think about it through that lens too, which I think provides some perspective. So it's not just checking the box to get the grade in the class. I think there's also the honor of representing the law school on a national stage, and then hopefully winning and demonstrating that, one, you have the ability to beat out other great legal minds. There's going to be a lot of different people there. Networking and recruitment opportunities are going to be at the end competition in person. You're going to meet a lot of people, so that's helpful. But also too, I think it just didn't feel good to lose, right? I mean, we got the results back and we didn't even place in the top three. It wasn't a very fun feeling. And looking back, there was a couple things that we could have done differently, but hindsight is 2020, and there's just no way we would have known. So I think that's important to keep in mind. Another thing I will say is I think it takes a lot more time than you're thinking initially, and delegation is important. Realizing everybody maybe has a different skill set can save you a lot of time in breaking up that work. So trying to figure out the high level plan in the beginning, maybe spending more time on the front end strategizing, is going to help you quite a bit in the end. I know these are all very high level abstract ideas, so I'll give a concrete example. So we had a guy that was really good at drawings, and he's done it for a lot of time prior to the competition for his law firm, and even before law school on the team last year. So he kind of took the lead there and spent a lot of time doing drawings, because we thought as a unit having good drawings for the competition was going to be important, and it turned out it was. But it just didn't make sense for me or the other team member to spend really any time doing drawings when we can devote our time elsewhere, because he was just so good at drawings. So we were able to kind of cut a little bit of time off of the overall project by divvying up work that way. And I think another thing too is, I don't know how Professor Tarosky has it structured this year, but we all drafted our own patent, and then we also kind of put those together and turned in one overall patent to the competition. And that process was not as seamless as we wanted it. We all used different terminology, different numbers referring to things on the drawing, and it made it really hard to consolidate into one patent. So I would think right now, just on the front end, how you're going to create a seamless transition from your individual patents to the overall patent. And maybe right now you get on the same page once the problem drops, whenever that is, maybe sometime around the holidays or whatever, going through and making sure that you're on the same page about terminology. So figure out what you're going to call things, and then what number you're going to use to refer to it. And then you all use that in the beginning in your own. So then the process is seamless coming in. Everyone has different writing styles, and that makes it hard too. But those are just challenges that we anticipated, but we didn't know how hard it was going to be to have it come together. And Professor Tarosky made kind of a joke about us turning our assignment in late, and we did. We turned it in late. We worked for a long time the week leading up to it, but like I said, it just takes a lot more time than you think. And then we had some PDF file viewer issues, and we couldn't combine PDFs, and like we would combine and like one document wouldn't pop up, and there's like a lot of different issues. So we didn't get our full application until a few minutes after the deadline, and it cost us a lot of points. So yeah, I think, it goes without saying. And like, I remember, sitting in a similar meeting last year, like, oh, meet the deadline. I'm like, of course, like that's so easy to do. Like, why wouldn't we do that? Like, what situation would arise where we wouldn't meet the deadline? And I just didn't even like think about it as a serious piece of advice. And then it happened to us. And it's not like we're incompetent or careless. It was just things are unpredictable.